Hi, everyone. This week we talked about and learned about Sanford Meisner and his approach to acting. And I quite enjoyed learning about his techniques um, and some of his exercises that he implemented with his students. And one thing I learned was that his approach is very focused on the other or who you're partnering with in your acting, feeding off of the other and responding to them instead of just completely going internal and trying to tap into emotions and one's um, past to find uh, some kind of truth in that character. It's rather focusing on your partner and then responding authentically to what is given to you from the other. So active listening is very important, and just trying to truthfully or authentically tap into how the response is going to be. And I find this to be very pragmatic, and I quite like that. I think that's really interesting. The other thing I found super interesting, I just love hearing about the different actors that come out of these different approaches. And so one of my most favorite actresses is Mary Steenburgen. She is, I feel like she doesn't get as much credit as she deserves. She's such a great actress, and it's always a joy to see her in her craft. And I can kind of see when I think about, it's really hard to put into words, but there's certain actors that I've really, really enjoyed watching over the years. She's one of them. Diane Keaton, Jeff Goldblum, Robert Duval. These are people that went to who learned under Meisner, and I didn't know this. I was just naive in this, that I just had no clue about that. So I found that to be really interesting, because their approaches to acting are very, it's like I say, it's very difficult to put into words, but I feel like they really feed off of whoever they're working with, and they do it so well, and so it feels almost effortless, and it also feels super authentic. I've always found like Mary Steenburgen to be a super authentic actress, and so just learning about her history and seeing where she came from in terms of the approaches that she learned, I just, that's fascinating to me. I really like that. Jeff Goldblum is another one that I feel like he makes things about the other. His work always feels that way to me, and so I that's kind of an interesting little little uh, fun fact to learn where they came from. So with that, if I were to create a lesson plan for my students, I definitely want to practice one of the exercises that it almost sounded like I was going to say exorcism. One of the practices that Meisner implemented, which is the repetition exercise, and that would be two students sitting together facing each other and waiting for one to say something first. And once that first student says something, then the other student has to repeat that. And it helps them practice active listening and how they're going to respond, helps them tap into kind of a truthful interaction instead of having that pressure of like, okay, I have to say this next. So I found that quite fun, and so I would definitely want to have my students practice that. And so yeah, with that, that is some of the things that I got from this week's lesson. So thank you, and have a wonderful rest of your day.